Using OpenAI's GPT-4 model through the API playground is actually better for most people. Here's why. So it's actually cheaper than using the ChatGPT GUI because you only pay for what you use. Whereas with the traditional ChatGPT, you're actually paying a monthly fee to access GPT-4 and 3.5 in a limited use case. So you get unlimited use of GPT 3.5, but with GPT-4, you're actually limited to around 40 to 50 messages per 3-hour period. But with the API, you can use it as much as you want, but you are going to be charged for those requests. Now, you may not need this feature, but in the traditional ChatGPT GUI, you only actually get a context length of 8,000 tokens. So that's around 2,600 words. Whereas with the playground, you can actually get access to the 32K context length model, which allows you to have up to 10,600 words. So you can see that maybe you need a use case where you're scanning a bunch of code, or you've got a big document that you're trying to ingest, and that 8,000 token character limit is going to prevent you from actually doing the job at hand. Now, there's no rate limit when you use the models through the OpenAI playground, versus with the ChatGPT GUI, you get that 40 to 50 message limit per 3-hour period. Now, before you switch over though, there are some things you do lose out on, like access to plugins, and it may be harder to use if you are not familiar, but it is easy, and I'm going to show you that right now. So at the top here, you have the mode, chat, complete, or edit. I would just keep it in the chat setting as that's the easiest to use. You have your temperature, so this controls how repetitive the model is going to be. You have the maximum token length. So say you don't have a big budget and you're trying to limit the amount of tokens GPT-4 is using, you can set a maximum length, and that's going to then limit how much output GPT-4 or 3.5 Turbo will give you. And then you have these other advanced settings down here. And if you don't know what you're doing here, I would just leave that alone, as that will cause disruptions into the output provided. Now, here's an example. So say I wanted some Python code written. I would say, please help me with this Python code. You are going to correct it and ensure that it runs correctly. And now we'll go here and we'll just put some Python code, print, but we'll stuff up and put some weird stuff in here like that, and press submit. It's going to then give us the correct response here. As you can see, it's just made it a bit better. So everyone's used this before, but basically this system prompt is going to be added to every user prompt you have here. So you don't have to keep repeating yourself with new chats like you would in the ChatGPT GUI. Now I'll show you the really cool edit feature, which is just actually in alpha right now. So we can actually input a bunch of text like this. So I've got some usernames here, has one username, Sunny99, and then the password, obviously. These aren't real usernames and passwords, by the way, I just generated them. Now, say I wanted to just have the username and just the password. I could do this in Excel, or I could just input a simple instruction here, such as please remove anything that is not the username and password itself, and also remove username and password strings. And it's going to do something really cool here and actually just output the username and password. I hope you got a few tips from this video. Anyway, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.